The news had barely broken that conservative talk radio legend Rush Limbaugh had passed away from lung cancer at the age of 70. And a bunch of rabid leftists with apparently nothing better to do with their time than dig a basement under rock bottom came out in droves to bash the man, saying just about every vile, heinous thing they could think of. Within moments, Rest in Piss was trending on Twitter, the same social media platform that supposedly bans hate speech, like using the wrong pronoun for a man who wears high heels. Because, see, the left doesn't actually hate hate speech. They like it just fine when they're the ones doing it. Thankfully, Rush left us with a perfect example of how to deal with cockroaches. When the left calls you a hateful bigot, laugh and hand them a mirror. When they accuse you of hating minorities and women and the marginalized, point out how their agenda is actively persecuting those people every single day, and then make sure that your own life reflects the opposite. When they scream at you to shut up, speak louder, and above all, never, ever back down. Liberals were out in their truest form yesterday, gleefully celebrating the death of a 70-year-old cancer patient because they didn't like his politics. Here's a Yale professor saying he felt euphoria after he heard the news. Here's one of the voiceover actresses from Cars 3 wishing everyone a happy Rush Limbaugh is dead day. Here's a Netflix writer saying he and his 4-year-old went out on the front lawn and banged on pots and pans in celebration. And these are just a few of the literally thousands of Yay Rush is dead posts from the gutter rat population. The left, ladies and gentlemen. Here are those tolerant, loving liberals, the party of anti-fascism and unity, who complained of Trump being mean for 4 years. Unless, of course, you disagree with their insane and useless policies, and then they hope you die and they'll dance on your grave once you do. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many black squares they post on Facebook or how many Twitter blurbs they put up about loving people, these are the most hateful, spiteful, nasty excuses for human beings. They're miserable in their own lives, and they want you to be miserable too. They don't actually care that Andrew Cuomo killed thousands of old people, or that Biden's border policies are encouraging the trafficking of toddlers, or that liberals are trapping black people in poverty and crime. They're just happy Rush is gone because he made fun of feminists and their hairy armpits. On the other hand, Rush was so much more than a radio commentator who pissed them off. Many people don't realize he was also an ardent philanthropist. He didn't just preach conservative values, he lived them. He raised tens of millions for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, among others. His organization sent care packages to troops stationed overseas.
I'm not doing this so that any kind of attention accrues to me. I just think if you're going to come on an effort that is designed to either raise money or material to be donated to people, that you actually do it yourself as well, not just ask other people to do it. It's like walking the walk and talking the talk. Talking the talk is not enough here.
He supported a group called Tunnel to Towers, which honors fallen service members and law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. In 2019, the money he raised for that organization went to pay off the mortgage of an Auburn police officer who was shot to death on the job. Country singer John Rich said Rush once made an anonymous $100,000 donation to St. Jude's, which no one even knew about until after his death. While liberals were busy hoping the man keeled over from a tumor, that is what Rush was doing, helping people, while making sure that millions of conservatives across this nation knew they weren't alone and that their values still mattered. While the left was busy accusing him of spreading hate, Rush was proving them wrong with more than just his words. He didn't care that they called him a racist bigot because he was too busy not being one. And he never stopped, all the way up until the end. Because here's the thing about Rush. He didn't believe that conservatism is a defensive position. He took the ball and he ran with it. He didn't back down. He didn't surrender. He didn't demand that you agree with everything he said, because that's not a conservative position. But he did demand his right to say it. And he exercised that right because he knew it was his. And then he used that right to call it exactly like he saw it. And he never backed down or apologized. And so should that be our attitude. You want to know how you can push back on the left's all-out assault on speech? Don't stop speaking. Don't apologize for speaking. Speak truth, speak wisely, but speak loudly. If Twitter boots you, go talk to your neighbor. You don't need a golden microphone to talk to your coworker. Go get involved in your community and make a difference to the people around you by living out the principles that you believe. You don't need social media to do that. The left cannot stop you from speaking. They cannot stop you from believing what you believe. They couldn't stop Rush. And they hated him. They'll hate you. Let them. I disagree with those who say Rush left behind a hole that no one else can fill. I believe he gave us a blueprint for how we can all carry on his legacy. We're facing some crucial junctures in this country. We've got a border crisis that's already threatening to spiral out of control. For the first time in half a century, we're on the verge of watching millions of our dollars pour into Planned Parenthood specifically to kill children. We're spending ourselves into oblivion while our position weakens on the world stage. They're coming for your guns. Teachers' unions and left-wing indoctrinators are convincing an entire generation of kids, starting in preschool, that their bodies are wrong. This is happening right now, and Rush isn't here to say anything about it anymore. That's now up to us. And it's time to speak louder. May we all live so passionately, so principled, and with such conviction that wicked people like these rejoice when we're gone. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and Rush, rest in peace.